started hockey at 5 years old. We were just driving on a Sunday drive, and we ended up driving to the Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, by the indoor rink, and we'd never been in one like that, and so we chose to go in, and somebody offered to learn to skate for me to get out there, and it was so random, and because I'm not from a hockey family originally, and took the opportunity, threw on the skates, and I guess within 5 minutes or so I was skating on my own. And then they're like, if you want to come back, there's a few weeks left. And we chose to come back, and wearing those molded skates, and I guess I just took off, and it became kind of something that we wanted to get involved in, and that's how it started. Yeah, I grew up playing youth hockey in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and then as you get older and you hit high school, I played on the varsity team in 9th and 10th grade there, and then I played at Benilde St. Margaret's in St. Louis Park, Minnesota for 1 year, and then at that point in time, the Green Bay Gamblers came knocking to potentially play for them my senior year, and that would have been Donnie Granado recruited me there, and I ended up playing there for 3 years for Marco Siki. I value playing for Alaska Anchorage a ton because it was a great experience for my life to get my degree, but also just the lifestyle that I had, not only with hockey in the WCHA, to play all your games when you're on the road, kind of in where I grew up, the backyard, right? Playing against all the teams like Tech, Wisconsin, UMD, Minnesota. So those opportunities, North Dakota, those opportunities were within driving distance for my parents to be a part of my life when I was on the road, which are roughly half your games. And then just the lifestyle away from the rink opened the door for me to do everything and anything outdoors that Anchorage and Alaska had to offer.
It's where Landmesser takes over. Long pass ahead and a chance for Stewart. Stewart on the right side, winds it up and scores!
I played in the East Coast League and the Central League for that 6-year window, and I just really, looking back, loved the relationships and the opportunity to play 72 games a year in the regular season. You're pushing, if you're in the playoffs, 80, 90 games. So if you really love to play, pro hockey is an opportunity to really play a lot of games. And I look back on that, the environments and the cities I lived in, the players, and those amounts of games are the best memories I have of pro hockey. I got into coaching. I took a year off between playing professionally and hanging them up from a shoulder surgery I had to recover from. I decided to be done, and I started a master's degree. Took 8 classes, didn't end up finishing the degree, but in that year of trying to figure out what to do, I coached a Bantam A team out in Raleigh, North Carolina, called the East Coast Eagles, and that was really a grassroots opportunity to just kind of see if I liked coaching, and it opened the door for me to really feel inspired by what we accomplished by the end of the year, get to know the parents, get to know the players, and that opened the door for me to start interviewing for jobs. And I interviewed all summer for a bunch of different opportunities, and I landed the job with the Sioux Falls Stampede in the USHL, and I was there for 4 years, and it was a great starting point for me in my coaching career. My connection to Joe was just the recruiting trail. I'd met Joe just through the years, being 6 years in the USHL. We'd talk on the phone just about recruits, players that were already committed to either Tech or wherever he was coaching, players to look for and what he had seen, and give him some more feedback on that. And then just when I'm on the road, when I was recruiting, I'd see him and we'd have a small talk, and that's where the relationship was from. And it opened up to be an opportunity to come here to Tech to work alongside him, and looking forward to that because of the person that he is. I think there's really a few things that are the core elements for me. Number one is just passion for the game, that inspiration, we call it, either whether it's motor, it's a term, or internal fire. I like players that really want to compete, high compete. And so that's one aspect. Number two would be intelligence to the game. I think that the modern day game, intelligence is as much of a priority, just where the rules have gone in terms of the game. You have to be able to think the game and make plays more than ever before with that. And then I say the next thing would be just the aspect of skating. I think it's ultimately about getting there. It's not necessarily you have to be the best skater in the history of the world. It's about getting there, and if you can get there and have a brain and have a high compete, high internal fire, those three components are the three things that I would look for in a player that would allow for you to build a culture that is inspired to be successful every night and every day at practice. Yeah, I think my mission when I got into coaching was to impact men for good. That was really the simple mission statement I put together for myself. I think because of hockey, you're dealing with your locker room. You know, you're 23 to 28 players on a daily basis. Your coaching staff. Those are the people you're spending the majority amount of your time with. Whether it's the recruiting trail and the contacts you make, the network you make, whatever you may call it, with other coaches and other people, it's the game of hockey and really make an impact for good. With this level, I'd like to see us get to the next step of the NCAA tournament. I'd like to see us get to a Frozen Four. I'd like to see us continue to win the WCHA championships and be in the running for those opportunities every year. And I think, let the rest take care of itself. But I think those are some small, not really small, but some really short-term goals that I have that would be something that would have an impact. But ultimately, back to the original, is really impact people for good. And I think when you can do that with all the ups and downs that life throws at you, curveballs and things, it'll allow you to really have a positive influence and really hopefully enjoy your job and enjoy your life. I'm really excited about getting to know the guys. They're the ones who really ultimately pull the rope. It's the players play the game, coaches coach. And so if we can do a good job just to get to know them, get to know the intricacies of them as people, but also the next level of that is how to put together the best chemistry in the lineup and inspire the whole group, whether you're in the lineup or out, for the greater good.